Blackhawks defenseman Alex Vlasic is with us in studio, and we debut a new segment, Would You Rather Wednesday, coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Happy Hump Day. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. I am the raspy-voiced but feeling fine Jay Zawaski. Mario Tirabassi is here, and way over there is Blackhawks defenseman and recent World Championship gold medalist Alex Vlasic. We're going to talk lots of hockey, lots of off-season stuff with Alex. Before we do us a favor, hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. And if you're listening on the old-fashioned podcast, we love you and thank you. Make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite app and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Alex, thanks for taking time out to be here today, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Just walking around town, figured you'd drop in. What's summer been like after capturing gold?
Yeah, it's been great. I haven't really gotten up to much, so kind of taking a little bit of time off, just starting to get back into the gym and work out. So yeah, I mean, pleasure to be here.
Well, yeah, the World Championships, that was, I'm sure, an amazing experience. Take us through, if you will, the process of, getting picked for the team, going overseas, playing with a different group of guys and coming together for that tournament, and then obviously going through and winning gold.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get picked for that and to represent your country, it's definitely a little bit of a no-brainer, at least for me and everybody that was there. You don't want to turn that down. It's such a cool opportunity, and especially with the team that we had such a young group of guys. We were all hungry to kind of prove ourselves. With the Olympics coming up, I think there was a lot of guys trying to make their case for why they should be there or be thought of in the same conversation. So it was a lot of fun, and obviously I'm glad I went. It's easy to say now, after winning, but it was, just the team that we had. It was hard to believe that we had only been together for 3.5 weeks or so. It truly felt like we were a team that had been together for longer, and for a full season or so. Everybody was great and inclusive, doing things together and as a team. So it was one of the better team atmospheres I've been a part of.
Well, with such a young group coming through the U.S. program, I don't know offhand, but I imagine you and obviously Frank, but you've played with some of those guys before, probably through the development program, right?
Correct. Yeah. So that was kind of why I think everybody was a little bit more familiar with each other. So there was, I played with Matty Beniers. He was a year younger than me, but he got called up to our team when I was at the program. So I played with him a little bit, and there was a lot of 04s, 05s, 03s that had all played together on the program. So I think our average age was 24. We were the youngest team in the tournament, which is kind of wild. But yeah, it felt like the older guys and the younger guys, everybody got along so well.
It's got to be cool for you, who's been here a long time through the rebuild. Obviously you're fully invested, you're signed long-term, you're happy to be here, but to play in meaningful, competitive, playoff level atmosphere games had to be a nice change of pace for you.
Yeah, it was special for sure. I think kind of like you said, just to play some meaningful hockey. I can't remember, the last time I was playing, a semifinal, quarterfinal game, like that type of thing where, you have to win. You're doing whatever you can to, throw your body on the line. And I think, during the tournament, the round robin, we definitely weren't amazing as a team. I think, we were kind of maybe a little bit skeptical of, how we were performing, and I'm sure other people were. We almost lost in Norway. There were a couple close games, and I think once the game started to become meaningful and we needed to win, everybody just kind of flipped a switch and just started playing, their best hockey, doing whatever it took to win. And there really was like that kind of team camaraderie. So, it was such a good feeling to win. I feel like, you do like NHL interviews sometimes when you're doing the draft interview, like before you get drafted, they'll ask you, hate to win or hate to lose or love to win. And at the time I would always say like hate to lose. And then after this tournament, like I told this to my girlfriend and I was like, I think I love to win more. Like it definitely like just changes. Like I want to get after the off season more now. And like it definitely pushes my drive to win way more here with the Hawks now than if I had lost, I think. So it's kind of exciting. And I mean, I can't imagine what it'd be like to win a Stanley Cup. It'd probably be 10 times as exciting. So, I think we got a good group. And yeah, like I said, it just gets me excited to get to work.
It's got to be feeling like, the way the season ended with all the young guys coming up, Renzel and Levshinov and Moore and everybody, and you guys finishing the season in a pretty strong and impressive way. Do you sort of start to see the light at the end of the tunnel there with, I know it's not going to be next year probably, but success is in your near future, it seems like, with the Hawks.
Yeah, I think we kind of, like you said, we have the young group is getting older, whether we like it or not. I mean, kind of crazy to think that Betsy's going to be going into his third year in the NHL. Like, it feels like he just got drafted like last year.
You can almost have a beer.
Yeah.
Almost.
So I think it's going to be up to us, the young guys that are starting to become NHL regulars to improve our games. And, hopefully we're the ones that can help bring this team to, what we hope to be successful in the, in the near future, like you said. So, seeing Frank at the end of the season and then seeing him at Worlds, I think he led our team at Worlds in points, which is crazy. He was an animal for us and did all the right things. So it's fun to watch him play. And, Bedsy's going to have a great year. Some of the younger guys. It's definitely exciting.
When you look forward to next season, there's obviously a lot of talent coming up through the organization, and that seems to be where the front office and Kyle Davis is putting a lot of emphasis on. But when you look around, the off season, do you look at like the free agent rumors or the trade rumors and kind of start to think a lot about like, yeah, maybe that guy would fit with this group? Or like, do you kind of think that way a little bit? And probably don't bring it up too much to Kyle. He's a little busy, but like, do you envision some of those things?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're always kind of, you're looking at how you can make your team better. I think that there's some guys that are in the free agency class, whether it's, Marner, the big names like that, Ehlers, those guys I see those names floating around all the time in rumors, and you never know what to believe. So, I mean, I think, for me, it's right now, at least, like I'm focused on the guys that are here right now. And then once July 1st hits and, maybe we do sign some people, then you can kind of start to look at it a little bit more. But I think until then, until things are kind of solidified, it's hard to imagine. You could say, oh, if we got this guy and this guy would be really good, but you may not get those guys eventually. So it's I think, like I said, for us right now, it's probably more focused on improving the our games for the guys that are playing at the moment.
If Kyle Davidson called you into his office and said, Alex, what's one thing that we need to add to this roster this summer? You don't have to say a name specific, but if there's a position or a character type or whatever it might be, what would your answer be?
I think it's easy to say now just with how he's doing in the playoffs, but I think everybody hates him, and it's Sam Bennett. You hate to play against him, but that's the guy, the Kachucks, like those types of players that just get under other teams' skins, like Marchand. Like, you hate to play against those guys, but you would love to have them on your team. I think just somebody that's not afraid to mix things up, play physically, play the right way, and still has the offensive ability to finish on those chances. I mean, that one play that Bennett had on his goal on the breakaway was just like, he just like levels two guys and then gets a breakaway, dances Skinner. Like, it's special to watch those types of players. I feel like they always come up big in playoffs because that's how the game's supposed to be played. When push comes to shove, it's a man's game. It's a physical game. And they do so well.
Well, talking about things in the offseason that could happen, things in the offseason that did happen, Hawks hire a new head coach in Jeff Blashill. What was your kind of initial reaction to that? I think it might have happened while you were still in the tournament, but have you had time to connect with him at all or have any previous experience with him?
Yeah, so I spoke to him yesterday on the phone, and before I did speak to him, obviously once he got the job, I was asking some of the guys that I knew may have had some overlap with him, and yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about him. He seems like, a very well-spoken person. And, I think he's going to make it hard on us for sure. That's what he was telling me. And I think it's a good thing. I think we have such a good group that can kind of go through this together. And, even if it is hard, I think it's going to be for the betterment of the team and for the betterment of, our individual mindsets and, work ethics. So I'm super excited. I think he's got experience with younger groups. So, I think it's a great start to the summer.
I don't know if you guys talk over the summer. I'm sure there's separate group chats for everything, but I know he coached Tyler Bertuzzi in Detroit. Bertuzzi, at least on a record, raved about him, said that he was really good for his game, and Bertuzzi had his best seasons under him. Have you heard anything from Tyler about what to expect from Blashill?
Yeah, I meant to reach out to him before, but I just kind of forgot to text him. But I did see what you were talking about of him, pumping his tires. So, I talked to Marty a little bit. I think he knows him pretty well. He's a Michigan guy. So he said he's a hard coach and a really great guy. And I've just heard, like I said, such good things about him.
And Andrew Sorensen is going to stick on with the rest of the assistant coaching staff. And, we've kind of talked about that aspect of it. And, we knew he was going to stay in the organization, didn't know exactly what position he was going to be with. But is there something for the guys in the room, to have the perspective of like, well, you have the experience with Anders through Rockford, through, development, him being there, the second half of this season. Is there something to like that continuity of keeping him on staff when you have a new head coach and you have another group of new assistants?
Definitely. Yeah. I think it does give, the players that, especially the younger guys, like even myself, like who aren't necessarily used to that coaching, like change just happening so frequently. It does in the NHL, but I think for some of us young guys, maybe it's just a little bit of a shock to the system, and it's hard to build a relationship with a coach in the first place. And so I feel like when you do, especially for me with having Anders and Rockford, it's nice to have him around. I can kind of come back to him and speak to him when maybe, I don't feel comfortable going to Blashill or something like that. So, it'll be great to have him around, and he was a great coach for us too. So I think it'll be, like you said, it'll be nice for all of us to kind of have one coach that's at least familiar with how things were and the players themselves and their personal attributes and attitudes.
You also got to play under Mike Vellucci, one of the assistants hired this summer at the World Championships. What were your impressions of him?
Yeah, he was great. So he was mainly the forward coach when we were there and the power play coach. So I didn't see too much of his video sessions there, but he was great. Yeah, super nice guy. I was talking to him a little bit, especially at the end of the tournament when, where things were kind of panning out. So, I'm excited to see, I've heard really good things about him being in Pittsburgh too. So, I'm sure he'll bring some positivity and, good teaching points to our D-Corps.
You talked a little bit about how the summer's been going for you and talking to some of the guys about the coaching stuff. What is the atmosphere like with the group now at the end of the season? You guys are in off season. You and Frank were playing, a bunch of guys were playing at the World Juniors or World Championships rather. What's the kind of communication like with the group and kind of staying in touch through the summer?
I think for the most part, we're probably talking to, at least for me, like I feel like I'm talking to individual guys here and there as opposed to kind of texting our group chat, just because like our team group chat is obviously everybody that we had at that point, and there's certain guys not returning. And so, you don't want to maybe text in the group chat that guys aren't necessarily, a part of anymore.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll text, I've been texting Reichs quite a bit, Slags, some of the guys that I was super close with, and just keeping tabs on them, and should be doing dinner with Slag soon here, but unless he turns me down. But yeah, no, it's fun I like seeing the guys too in the side. Like you need a break from them at the end of the year for a couple of weeks, and then after a while, it kind of you miss them and you want to see them again. So I'm excited. Whoever comes in town, I'll be here. So.
I've been seeing some videos on Instagram of Lucas getting back into training and stuff. I know he got hurt at the World Championships. How's he been feeling?
Yeah, I think he's feeling all right. He, I won't, I guess, disclose anything in case he doesn't want me to. But Yeah, he got hurt, and I felt
you
bad.
don't have to give me
for
the
him.
whole details
Yeah,
of his medicals. But yeah.
There was a bone jutting out of his shin. Oh wait, no, scratch that.
I feel bad for him. It's tough, you go there and you definitely don't want to come out of that with an injury, especially just to set you back in the summer. But I've been seeing the same videos and stuff. It looks like he's getting back after it. So it was fun to see him there. We were in the same little town in Denmark. We were staying at the same hotel. So I was running into him, and he's just like, we would always look at each other and laugh, even if we were like pregame snack. We're eating the same meal room, like playing against each other, and we would just like look at each other and like start laughing. I felt like I was like setting a bad example, but I just like he was just like always giving me the eyes.
No, that's funny.
From the stories you tell about him, it's understandable.
Yeah,
like he just seems like a very lovable, and
he's the best.
It's a guy you can't really be mad at. With you mentioned a few times with Blashill about like the reputation of a hard coach, right? Like a tough, intense coach. As a player, do you, and I know you can't answer for all your teammates, but you personally, like, do you kind of like that? A guy who's going to really push you hard and have some accountability? Because one thing we've heard, true or untrue, you can verify or whatever you want to say, about maybe Anders and Luke, was that maybe that was an issue sometimes, was the accountability, where there'd be repeated mistakes over and over again. Do you kind of want a coach that has harder consequences and bigger expectations?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a balance you gotta play with, and I think you look at the coaches around the league. Maybe you hear bad things about coaches that are just constantly yelling at players and always on players, and it kind of sounds miserable. And I think that there is a balance. Like, you have to have a coach who is hard on your team and demands. At the end of the day, they want what's best for both the players and the coaches. Like, they want the team to win, and sometimes that just means everybody, playing the right way. And yeah, if somebody's not willing to play the right way, maybe that does mean, consequences for that. But I think there's a difference between stuff like that and then maybe just unnecessary, like, yelling and just kind of getting in your face for no reason. And that's what I've heard about Blashill is really good things about how he's demanding, but he's not demeaning. He's doing everything he can do to help you get to a spot where you're being the best hockey player you can be, and at the same time helping the team win. So I'm excited. It should be tough for sure, and it'll be a good test for everybody.
There were a couple of things you said. He was in here with us the day after his press conference and talked about how playing on the power play is a privilege, playing 6-on-5 is a privilege, and playing 5-on-6 is a privilege. Like, these are things that guys have to earn. And it's the first time I'd really heard a coach reference that. Like, well, it's not necessarily about who is the best at everything. It's who's kind of earned those opportunities. And I think when you have like a meritocracy like that with a coach like that, that's accountability without it being John Tortorella or Mike Keenan in your face, spitting on your visor, but it's, hey, you have earned the right for this opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, you watch the playoffs now. I like watching Florida. I mean, they just have on their roster, I feel like they have every player has a role. And, when you're watching if they're down 6-on-5, for example, at the end of the game, like, you see some of their younger players like Lundell and Lusterin and like playing out there, like killing off the 6-on-5 because they can be trusted defensively. They're doing the right things and they're playing the right way. And I think it's super cool that you have a coach who isn't just putting out, the 35-year-old vets or whatever who know how to play the game. They're playing out these guys who are 25 years old, but they know what their role is and they know how to, execute that role. So it's fun to watch them like that. And I'm sure Blashill will be the same.
You want to get to some audience questions? I know Steven put some aside here.
Yeah. We got a super chat here from Matthew, Buck99, asking Alex, who were your favorite players growing up?
My cousin, Marc-Edouard Vlasic on the Sharks was definitely probably my favorite player growing up. I just looked up to him a lot, seeing as though, I loved hockey and he was playing in the NHL at the time and having a lot of success with it. So I would say him. I did watch the Sharks games a lot, and then obviously the Hawks, being from Chicago. I mean, it was hard not to be a fan of Keith and Seabrook, and even Hjalmarsson. I think he was kind of a sneaky under the radar player that, I'm sure you guys can attest to how good he was, but definitely I feel like was overlooked at the time by a lot of people just with he wasn't getting the most points or anything like that, but he was just kind of a horse in the D zone and doing it all.
Marion Hosta told us was like the most unsung player on that on those Dynasty Hawks was Hjalmarsson.
Yeah.
Is that a guy you compare yourself to a little bit? I know you're bigger than him, but in terms of play style and I feel like league wide maybe you get overlooked because the flashy numbers aren't there yet. They could come in time. Your offensive game jumped a lot this year, but you feel like maybe that's a little bit overlooked part of your game?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely somebody that you look at that period of time. I wish I was older when I was watching him play. Like if I could have watched him play now, it would have been cool. I feel like when I watch Forsling play, it does kind of remind me a little bit of Hjalmarsson. But yeah, he was just so good defensively, so responsible, and he's one of those guys where he had the privilege of getting put out 6-on-5 or whatever to defend those plays just because of how reliable he was. So I think those are the guys that end up winning you championships, to be honest. And yeah, he's somebody that you can take a lot of things from.
Absolutely.
All right, we got DJ with a super chat. $2 says, "What's up, Alex? Who is your funniest teammate?"
I would have said I'll give Alec Martinez. I think he's a retired teammate now, but he was one of my favorite teammates just in terms of his sense of humor. Reichel is super funny. We had a good squad. I feel like we were always laughing, but yeah, I'll give it to those two guys.
It's a good group. You gotta have not only good hockey players but good characters in there.
Yeah,
too.
good locker room for sure.
Steve Smart asks a question here that I've been wondering. What does a gym workout look like for you? And I'm going to have a follow-up to this too.
Question. Yeah.
A gym workout. So today was like my first day back in the gym, so it was pretty like light and just almost like an intensive warm-up. Like I wasn't doing anything crazy. I'm kind of slowly working my way back into it, but I mean, if you're talking about like middle of the summer, it's probably like 3 blocks. Like, so a block will be like 3 exercises, 3 or 4 exercises. You'll go through 3 times, and then you do like 3 of those, and then you'll end with conditioning of some sort, which would be like a bike. So it's a lot of like weightlifting, and then finish at the end with cardio.
And what would you say your most impressive lift is?
The most impressive lift?
Yeah.
Either the belt squat, like not the amount of weight, but like it measures your like force output, like as you go up, or deadlift.
Any follow-up, Steven?
All right, let's do it. How much do you deadlift? Let's hear it.
How much you bench, bro?
I don't know. Something in the 400s last summer.
I was going to brag, but now I don't want to. Forget it. All
right. Yeah, bench press is definitely – bench press and pull-ups are my arms are so like long and skinny. Like that's not my specialty.
That was good for me.
Well, we just
little stumpy arms.
Yeah. Well, we just went through the draft combine for the 2025 draft class. Do you remember your draft experience going through the combine and everything? And
I do.
Doing all those tests.
Yeah, it was scary for sure.
Weird interviews.
Yeah, it was the interviews. Like a couple of them were fun and just kind of like conversations. Almost some of the teams made them easy on you, and then some of the teams made it like an interrogation, and you were sweating and just trying to get out of there as quick as possible. But yeah, the workouts were tough. I remember doing the 2 because you have to do the 2 like you do the VO2 and the wind gate. The VO2 to start and then the wind gate to finish, and like there was like a special room behind where you did after you finish the wind gate, and guys like just so that you could like lay on the floor.
Yeah.
And you like turn the curtain open, and then like there'd be like 5 guys just like laying on the ground like this.
Great.
For like 30 minutes before you can like, I don't know, it's weird. Like in the moment you're like you're going, and then your body just completely like shuts off and like rejects it, and you have like 30 minutes to recover.
That's I know so the crazy. 2. What's the wind gate? What is that specifically?
It sounds like not that hard, but it's essentially like 30 seconds as hard as you can go, and there's like a magnetic
on a bike
thing that like controls how hard, you can like turn the thing to like control how hard or how hard you have to pedal to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And based on how much you weigh, you have to do it more. So I'm in like the top, bracket of how hard the resistance is, but I guess it's fair for everybody just because of it's
like a percentage of your body weight or something. Yeah.
But it's 30 seconds. Yeah, like the first 10 seconds you're going as hard as you can, and then they'll like say like, all right, 20 seconds left, and you're like, oh my god, like 20 seconds, and then they say 10, and the last 10 seconds you're literally moving like this slow, you just have no juice.
Oof.
It's crazy, yeah.
At least they don't make you walk through the room of dying players until you're done.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They don't reveal that.
Yeah.
You have to walk through
They just shove you in there.
Yeah.
There you go. We got your
there you are.
your scouting combine photo.
It's ugly.
These NHL photos, man, they're always so flattering. So
yeah,
flattering.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Our favorites are
Don't look like that anymore.
Draft floor.
I hope not.
The post-draft photos where you have to be like with the stick.
Yeah,
Like that one?
Yeah.
they're so corny.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
You were in the Vancouver draft, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How was that experience?
It was cool. I remember wanting to go first round, obviously, and I was pretty upset after the first day. I felt like, you know, you read things here and there, like they tell you not to look at like the rankings and stuff going in.
Sure.
But I did, and I had my expectations set pretty high, and not going in the first round was tough. And then second day came, and I was kind of just like, all right, whatever happens. Like, it is what it is. And it honestly couldn't have worked out any better for me. So I'm super happy to be here, and the way that it worked out, like I said, couldn't have happened any better. But it was kind of just a shock at the moment. Yeah, you kind of tune out after a while after the second round, like the first 5 names or so. I was like paying attention, and then I think I was talking to my sister, and the Hawks came up, and they started to say like, from the national team development program, and then we were like looked at each other, and I said my name. I was like, no way.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just so happy.
Nice.
That's cool. You had some
so we're doing a
little
little thing on Wednesdays now, trying to called Would You Rather Wednesdays. We're gonna get into it more between me and Jay after Alex is gone, but we wanted to do a couple with you to kind of test it out. So there's a couple hockey ones, and I do have a golf one because we talked about golf before the show started. Would you rather play a full season with gloves slightly too damp or skates slightly too dull? They don't get any worse throughout the season, but they don't get any better.
Probably gloves.
Gloves?
Yeah. Skates is like, as soon as you feel a bad edge on your skates, at least for me, I'm such a like, I feel like I can't turn properly, and then I honestly like play a little different. Like, you just like worried every time you like turn, you just don't want to have to think about that.
Okay. That's fair. Would you rather have a full season of only 50 goals or only 100 assists?
I like that one.
Actually, how many people have hit 100 assists, and like not that
It's
many,
not a
right?
lot. Yeah.
I feel like that's probably more rare.
Okay.
I mean, that's a Norris
Actually,
too.
you know what? I'd
Probably,
go 50
yeah.
goals.
50 goals.
50 goals, no assists.
Yeah, just because like that could like be my full career goal total. Like that would,
I don't know how many 50 goal defensemen there have ever been. If Bobby, I don't know if Bobby
Carr scored like, it felt like every game this year. And he
Yeah,
only scored
I don't know if
30.
Bobby Orr
I mean,
ever
not only, but
hit that high, but yeah,
Most
Carr.
goals by a defenseman in a season, 48 by Paul Coffey in
Well, there you go.
1985-86.
You'd be the record holder.
And 11 players have reached 100 assists in a season.
Okay.
Only one defenseman has had 100 assists, and it's Bobby Orr. 102
Either
in
way,
70-71.
Either way, you are
That's
in
crazy.
rare air.
139-point season for Bobby Orr.
is that good?
That's pretty
That's
decent.
what I'm told.
Okay, this one, I chuckled even just thinking of this one. You go full season, you have 10 fights in the year, but each time you fight, it's the team's toughest guy. Or full season, you have to fight once every game, but you get to pick who it is, and they have to say yes.
I mean, probably every game. I think if I fought every team's toughest guy, not every, but 10 teams' toughest guy,
I'm not saying like, you know, the ramifications of like brain injuries or anything. Or just like the
in general.
actual, like, you got to fight.
I mean, can I pick the teams? Toughest? Like, can I pick the teams?
So if you fight every game, you pick who you fight.
Yeah,
Every
what
game.
about the
It
other
could
one,
be
though?
anybody.
We have to follow the schedule.
Yeah, it'll be.
You know what I mean? Though, like if I'm playing a team that like doesn't have like that tough of a tough guy, I could pick.
Yeah, you
that.
can pick the smallest guy out there if you wanted. They have to say yes, but you got to do it once every game.
So it's like 10 Pat Maroons or like 82 Lucas Reichels.
Honestly, I would do the toughest. Actually, yeah, I would do the Lucas Reichel one.
First name to come to my head.
That's
Sorry.
good.
Sorry.
Yeah, that may be.
All right, this is the last one I got. This was a golf one. Which round would you rather have? All pars, 1 birdie, you shoot a 71, or 5 pars, 12 bogeys, but a hole-in-one, you shoot 82?
81 or 71.
Take the 71?
Yeah,
Low score?
100%.
All
Okay.
right. I mean, a hole-in-one's forever, though.
Hole-in-one is forever, but like I could tell everybody I shot a 71.
That's
Yeah,
true, too.
that's like
That's true, too.
PGA
Some people
quality.
that are bad at golf can get a hole-in-one, but you can't get a 71 if you're bad at golf.
We
That's
thought
true.
we had one.
on a par 3 course, maybe.
Yeah.
We thought we had one on the hole next to us at the golf outing.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And a guy started sprinting down the fairway. And they're like, no, never mind. It's right there.
Oh,
It's like, oh,
so
man.
tough.
That would have
Yeah.
been fun.
I got one more thing.
All right.
You did a video with Lucas and Ethan for the Hawks
Oh,
on
right,
TikTok
right, yeah.
that I think you got the short end of the stick on because it was the cookie video.
Yeah.
You're gluten-free.
Yeah.
I figured we'd make that right. So
Oh, look at this guy.
I am also gluten-free.
Are you really?
Yeah. So I felt that pain. I was like,
Poor
man,
bastards.
he couldn't have the cookie.
Not me. I'm
So-
having gluten for dinner.
No way.
In honor of
Wow.
the gold medal, this is not sponsored for now. We got some golden gluten-free Oreos
Oh,
straight out of the package.
I mean, is that in the summer regimen, though?
hey,
Yeah, you could have one.
it is now.
So there you go.
Thank you.
There's the cookie
Jeff
you didn't
Blashill
have.
is somewhere seething. Watching
Jay, would
this
you like
video.
to partake?
No.
No,
I
not
insist
even
on
for
gluten.
your other.
I
your
demand
other
gluten in
podcast?
everything I eat.
Oh, fine.
Out of
You ever
principle.
have the double stuff chocolate ones? Unbelievable.
You're the mega stuff?
I don't think they have those gluten free.
Oh, that's
I think they
well,
do.
you can do it yourself.
the gluten-free.
Just take the cookie,
Yeah, you could.
take
You
the
can take this home if you
cream.
want.
I'm all good. I'm all good. There
Alex,
you go.
thanks for doing this, man. By the way, $2 or two, whatever loonies they call them in
Euros.
the UK. I don't know.
Euros.
Holly says, "See you in October, Alex," in a very ominous super chat.
Sounds good, Holly.
She's coming
See you then.
from the UK to find Lucas Reichel
All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell
and
him.
betroth him.
Actually, yeah, I remember that.
Yes, yes. All right, thanks, man. We appreciate your time.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Alex.
it.
All right,
Thanks for
that's
the cookies.
Hawks defenseman Alex Vlasic. Hit that like button. We'll be back in 2 minutes. He said, optimistically. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use our code CHGO365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5. Take it $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. And with the Bet365 NHL early payout offer, you're a winner if your team gains a 3-goal lead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the app, use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Then you're going to deposit $10, place a bet for $5, take it $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Those bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, in-app only.
When you're sweating out your bets, you don't want to be stinky. That's where our friends at Mando come in handy. Mando, whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body. That's your pits, your balls, your thigh folds, your belly buttons. It says here plurally. Your
have
butt
3.
cracks, also plural,
I have 2 of those.
and feet. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, Mando comes in a variety of scents like bourbon leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers can get $5 off that starter pack with the code CHGO when you go to shopmando.com. Again, that's SHOPMANDO.com with the code CHGO. Support our show. Tell them we sent you.
All right, thanks again to Alex Vlasic for being here. We got some super chats we'll get to a little bit later in the show that we missed. We'll make sure we'll get to those. But we're going to continue Would You Rather Wednesday. We're kind of soft launching this.
Yeah.
To see how it goes.
Have some fun.
Maybe it's an off-season thing. Maybe it carries into the regular season. We'll see. I've got 2 for Mario. I know Mario's got a few ready. You want to go first, or do you want me to go first? How do you want to do this?
Asking or answering?
Why don't you ask me first?
Okay. Do you want to answer any of the ones that I asked Alex? The 50 goals, 100 assists.
I'd rather I'd rather do 50 goals. I'd rather have the hole-in-one, and I'd rather fight the weakest person 82 times.
Yeah.
Like
I think
10 Bob Proberts. No,
right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I might not survive.
Or 10 Redeem Verbatas.
Yes.
Don't
I'm
come
pretty
find
confident
me.
that.
Redeem Verbatas.
So there's your answers. Hole-in-one with what was it, 81?
It was a hole-in-one, but you shoot at 82 with 12 bogeys, 5 pars.
Fine.
Or you par each hole, except for one. You get a birdie, but you shoot a 71.
Hole-in-one's forever. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
I stand by those.
All right. Here's one for you.
Okay.
That I think, given your history with food, would be tough to answer.
Call me fat.
What's the other podcast you're on?
The I'm Fat Podcast.
Oh, okay.
I can say it. You care?
I didn't say it.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't say it. You have to give up all drinks except water.
Okay.
Or you give up eating anything cooked in an oven.
Oh. All drinks except water.
Yeah.
Anything cooked in an oven? That's no pizza. That's no baked goods at all.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Absolutely. That is a no-brainer for me.
Steven, you had a reaction?
Yeah, I'm pretty much only drink water anyway. That would be an easy one for me. You know how many
Can I
things
put
you
like
could put
Crystal
in the
Light
oven?
in it?
No, only water.
That's fine. I don't care.
No.
That's water.
I would give up the food cooked in an oven because
You can work around it.
there's a lot of workarounds.
Is an air fryer an oven?
That's a good question. It's a fryer.
That's true by definition.
Yeah. So I would say you're probably okay with the air fryer.
But I'm giving up
you can-
pizzeria pizza.
Yeah. Yeah,
tough.
but you can do grilled pizza. You get a pizza stone on top of the grill, cooks it. It's not exactly the same, but you still get pizza. Anything off a grill. So your grilled meats, smoked meats, you're all still good there.
But I still get that too with water. Yeah, I'll do water. That's fine.
That's a good one. All right. What do you got for me?
All right. Would you rather? There's 2 video games that have exclusive rights, 2 leagues. The NFL is exclusive to EA, and the NHL is exclusive to EA.
Uh-huh.
Would you rather have the NFL allow 2K to make football games, or the NHL allow 2K to make hockey games?
Hockey, 100%. The NFL 2K games back in the day did not have the hold on football against Madden that the NHL 2K games had. We've talked about it a bunch of times. 2K10 still, to this day, holds up as a good hockey game. So I would absolutely rather have 2K back in the game to put some pressure on EA 10 times out of 10.
So I agree with you. I had been playing 2K10 for a while.
Yeah.
And I went on Reddit to see what do people think the best 2K game is, and I got 2K8. 2K8 is even better.
Really?
Like the gameplay is smoother. The Hawks are way worse.
Well, sure.
But
that one I never played.
2K8 with Danny Heatley on the cover.
All-star.
Is outstanding. I would love to see 2K get back in the NHL game. I am someone that plays NHL 25 consistently.
Yeah.
NHL, EA.
Yeah.
Every year.
Same.
I enjoy it. I just feel like EA does not give the NHL the budget it needs to improve the way I think a lot of people would like it to.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have limited assets to work with. And if 2K got involved and gave it anything close to the dedication they gave it when they had it before, or that they give the 2K basketball or golf games now, it would be a total game changer.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think these exclusive licenses are bad. I know it's more money up front for the NHL, but you get more people interested in your game by playing video games. It's a way people learn your sport and learn your players and learn your teams. And if you're giving people better options, it's going to translate. It's going to translate to dollars.
NHL 94 for a generation of fans was like an introduction to hockey.
It was for me.
Yeah.
That was I watched Hawks games casually, went to a handful. When I got into the NHL EA series in the 90s, that took it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
I learned players from around the league. I was always the Hawks because they were so fun to be. But like I learned, Brass Bonanza from the Whalers and all the like little things they could add in terms of tradition for teams. It was awesome. It was just so good to have competition, and now that's gone. So, all right, that was my first one.
All right, we'll bring it back to hockey for this one.
Okay.
You don't know the outcomes.
All right.
Would you rather have 10 consecutive playoff appearances or one guaranteed trip to the Cup final?
Ooh. Trip to the Cup final. So it's not a guaranteed cup?
It's not a guaranteed cup, but it's a Cup final appearance or 10 playoff appearances, and you don't know how far you're going to go.
Because it's not a guaranteed cup, I will say 10 consecutive playoff appearances, because theoretically you could win several cups in those chances.
You could, yeah.
So I will do that. If it was a guaranteed cup, I would sacrifice 9 years of playoffs to guarantee a cup.
Right, because as was the point with
as we're doing right now,
hole-in-one, right? Yeah. The hole-in-one is forever. A cup is forever. If the Hawks only had the 2010 Cup, we still would revere that team just as much, if not more.
Maybe even more so.
Right. You still want 3 in 6 years.
That's great.
There's lots of teams that have never won one ever, and there's lots of teams with very long droughts that would give up the next 10 years, 9 years of being in the playoffs for just getting that one cup.
And
as Jim says, yes, Maple Leafs. This is a very Maple Leafy type of question.
It really is. And Direct to Video says, anyone remember 2-on-2 Open Ice Challenge? Midway made it. Pat Foley did the commentary for it. I own a PlayStation 1 because of it. And then I got RetroArch on my Xbox.
Yeah.
And I can play the arcade version.
That's
so
cool.
Instead of the Alexei Zhamnov Blackhawks, I get the Jeremy Roenick Blackhawks, which is a much better video game team. I love that game.
It is the better Blackhawks.
I play that game every week. I have since it was been released. I love it.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my hockey one for you. And I'm simplifying this because when we start to get into weeds of like, would you trade this guy for this, like you start dissecting the packages too much. So Kyle Davidson can put together a package for these two players. Jason Robertson from Dallas or Matthew Knies from Toronto.
Pick one.
Pick one. Don't worry about whatever the return is. You're okay with it.
Sure.
And it's the same.
The return is fair for both guys.
Yes. Okay. We're just talking player preference.
I feel like we just had the conversation with Alex about nastiness, and I feel like Knies has more of that than Jason Robertson. But I feel like Jason Robertson might be the better player. Oh, gosh.
2 years in 2021, he had 2021-22, 41 goals, 38 assists, 2022-23, 46 goals, 63 assists. A down year for him last year.
That's
Robertson,
yeah.
35 and 45. 35 goals, 45 assists last year for Robertson.
I think I go Robertson.
I kind of think so, too. I know Knies is younger.
All things equal, I think I go Robertson. But it's like a 51-49 split for me.
Knies is 22. He'll be 23 in October.
Uh-huh. Robertson is what, 25?
Robertson is 25. Will be 26 in July.
So he'll be 26 at the start of this
season. So start of the season, he'll be 26. So 4-year gap.
3-year
gap. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, maybe Knies then. Oh, gosh. Yeah, 3 years younger. Okay, yes. Give me Knies.
Okay.
3 more years to be in his prime. Yeah, I'll go Knies.
Just to review what Matthew Knies has done last year, kind of his breakout year, 29 goals, 29 assists in 58 games as a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Average 18:31 of ice time, He did shoot 19%, so you wonder about the sustainability there.
Sure.
Robertson shot 16%, but his career average is 15.2 and averaged 17.48 of ice time.
Okay, so I still think I'll go younger guy, and I think the guy that I think is a bit more of a meaner player that will help once this team is in the postseason. I think I'll go Nyes.
Yeah, I mean, the more that I think about it, I think I'm going that way too because
Robertson.
You're like, hey, Robertson scored 40 twice. Well, Nyes scored 35 as a 22-year-old.
Right.
And sure, played with the Leafs.
They're both on.
Teammates.
They're both on great teams.
Yes.
So, you can make the argument for both. I'll say Nyes.
I'm going to go with Nyes too.
All
right, we got to hit the break zone one final time. Do us a favor while we hit the break zone and hit that like button. We'll be back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. You know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses on the beach or on the roof of your car or at the gas station 3 states away. Well, I've been there too. And then I found Shady Rays, and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. They're seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the best part. If you lose or break them or leave them on the roof of your car, as I have, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. So now I can actually wear my sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on a boat, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. And we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Again, shadyrays.com, code CHGO for 35% off. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 billion people.
And just like the Blackhawks need a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and that's where our friends at Empire Today can help you get that advantage. We've all been to those big box stores where you wander endless aisles. Somehow you're the one taking all the materials home. Then you find out you can't do it yourself. You got to look for an installer and coordinate everything. Not with Empire. They bring the showroom directly to you so you can see how your furniture, your wallpaper, anything that you want to match with your flooring, they bring it to you, and you can see how those materials and colors match on your floors. And with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule that free in-home estimate today, and CHGO listeners can get $350 off when you use the code CHGO. That's $350 off when you use the code CHGO. Restrictions do apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details.
All right, let's get to the super chat here real quick before we get to a few more Would You Rathers. Crimson Autumn, $5, says nobody has really talked about the 25th pick. Who do you think could be a good pick there, assuming we don't trade it? Mario has written about that very topic.
I have. Yeah, you can check out allchgo.com for the players the Blackhawks could target with that 25th pick. I agree if they make the pick. I almost feel more than a 50-50 shot, like maybe 55-45, that it's going to be traded. I think there's a I think there's a slightly less likelihood that they're actually making the pick. We'll see. But in making that pick, I think there's a lot of different directions they could go. Obviously, the board is going to be a lot different at 25 than we've been talking about at 3.
Right.
But I think some guys that really intrigue me are Erie Otters forward Malcolm Spence. He's a great two-way guy, power forward style. He's got, desirable size, great character guy. That's one that that's a player that I've had my eye on since like December. Like he's I don't know if he'll be there at 25. I think a lot of teams like him, but if he's in that range, that would be great. Cullen Potter out at Arizona State.
Seems very Kyle Davidson-esque.
Yes. Widely regarded as one of the best skaters in the draft. He's a great playmaker. You want to have the size conversation. He's not the biggest, but he's, 5'10", 5'11" range. Obviously room to grow. From Wisconsin, so that's a plus in my book. Another guy that I think would be interesting in that range, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I just had him in my head. William Moore, center out of the National Development Program. Again, he's one of these guys that just, like, feels like a Kyle Davidson style player, great skater, has a really good offensive upside, fine defensively. Like I think he's a guy that would add to that center group. And then if you look defenseman, if you want to go that route, Logan Hensler, I think, is a guy that fits in that group. This is not a deep defensive group, so if you go defenseman, it might be, you might be taking a guy that maybe last year is in the second round, but he's a name that I've kept my eye on. Blake Findler is a big stopper defenseman, fits the mold of what the Blackhawks have. So yeah, I think there's a lot of really good options there. Before they got Spencer Knight, as Direct-to-Video says, Joshua Ravensbergen, top goaltender in the draft class. If they didn't have Spencer Knight, I might say use 25 on him, because it's never a bad idea to just have really good goalie options. But I think because they have Spencer Knight and because Soderblom had a good season, Drew Comezzo's progressing well, like you probably don't need to use that pick on the top goalie.
Okay. I just think that Potter just seems like such a Hawks pick.
He does. He really does.
If he's there.
If he's there, yeah. There's some mocks have him like early 20s, even in the teens.
Around like early, like 22, 21.
But if he's around and they are making the pick, I would not be mad at that at all.
Even though I doubt they're making the pick.
Yeah, again,
it really feels like
I don't feel like they're going to make that pick.
All right.
We'll see.
I've got a would you rather.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Would you rather undo one mistake from your past or dictate the terms of your death?
Oh, man. I just brought the mood down. Wow.
And you can, by the way, you can bank the mistake.
What do you mean?
So if there's something you don't want to undo just yet, you can have.
Oh, you can have like a
get out of mistake free card,
like a future freebie.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What goes into dictating the terms of death? Just how you die.
I die in my sleep at age 85 peacefully, or I don't know how else you would choose. I choose to be launched into the sun or something.
Into the sun.
Whatever you want to do.
Just catapult me into space.
Launch me into space and let me go. Whatever it might be.
Man, I have this is a topic not for this show. This is for my therapy session, but I have a odd relationship with death. So I don't know how I would be with that information and that control over it.
Okay.
So I think I'll go back and undo something from the past.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe a odd night in Whitewater or something.
Sure. I'm choosing the way I die easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
I can easily see.
I just be like, you know what?
People being good with it. Yeah.
I'm done. Let's go.
If I could bank the mistake, I'm going to the casino. I'm putting it all on black. If I win, I still have the mistake for later.
Yeah.
And if
That's
I
a good
lose,
one.
I put it
But
on
you
red.
could also do like the my wish to the genie is to have unlimited wishes. You could be like, I'm going to live a life of debauchery and just smoke and drink and eat the worst food and I'd like to undo the mistake of my reckless living. See, you get some flexibility there.
That's a big thing to categorize it as one mistake.
I don't think that counts. That's wishing for unlimited wishes. You can't do that.
No. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. We did that one.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Would you rather be the funniest person in every room or the most intelligent person in every room?
It's great, both.
It's a great existence being
this
both.
is easy. For me, it's easy because I think with supreme intelligence, there's like a burden on you of like, too much. Like ignorance is bliss is a term for a reason.
Right.
I don't want to be a dumbass, but I think like really, really intellectual people have trouble being happy.
Yeah.
So I would choose to be the funniest guy in the room.
I agree. I was telling you, me and my wife Catherine, we were going through these. This was the only one we had a different answer on.
Really?
She would take the intelligence. I would just be me, and just be the funniest person in every room.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I feel like more people enjoy
Squeaky.
the funny person at the party than the smart
yes,
person at the party.
100%.
Yeah. So I think that's the way I would definitely go.
All right.
Be the funniest.
Good.
You got any more?
Steven? Yeah, I'd go with the most intelligent. I feel like I could do something with that. Funny thing? I don't know.
There's a lot of
funny
if you were
people.
funnier.
I don't need them. I don't have time for them. I don't know.
Yeah. All that smart guy stuff you got to go do. You got any more?
I like that. I just found this one online.
Nice.
Would you rather have a magic van that can teleport you anywhere you want and time travel anywhere you want, or a magic ring that when it touches a book, you absorb all the knowledge inside?
You got to be careful which books you touch.
I think you have the option, though.
Oh, you can reject it?
You like opt to, you can go boop, like it's a direct.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like King Midas where literally everything you touch turns to gold.
Gotcha. Time travel sounds like a lot of fun, but I think there's a reality in which it can get existential.
The butterfly effect, man, it's real.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
I think I'll do the book one.
Right.
We'll do the book one.
I just wish I could do like the Matrix thing. Where like now you're a great golfer.
Oh yeah,
like now you know karate.
They just
like
put
now,
the floppy disk in and say like, download
awesome.
all these programs. Yeah, that would be really cool.
I think Would You Rather Wednesday is a great success. Do we
one.
have any from the chat? Did anyone say?
From DJ Schnell, would you rather bring back Prime Taze or Prime Keith?
For this team, Taves.
Mm-hmm.
If we're saying we're
for where the team is at right now, it's funny to say you don't need Duncan Keith, but you need more of Taze than you need Keith. But obviously, as we've said on both of us on the show, we've agreed that like the cup run isn't what it is without Keith. Most importantly,
yeah.
But I think if you're saying bring it to this team, I think it's Taze.
I think we've also, as time has skewed our memories a little bit, forget how freaking great Jonathan Taze was. Mm-hmm. Legitimately in the argument for best player in the league for like a 5-year stretch.
He was up there.
Like him and Crosby were like.
Yeah, there was a stretch with Taze's prime where it was, him, Bergeron, Kopitar, Crosby, all the guys that were Selke nominees of like who is the best center, who is in that argument for like best player, who would you build your franchise around? He was always in that conversation.
I've got one more.
Okay.
Would you rather undo Marian Hossa's skin allergy or Jonathan Taves' immune response disorder?
Hossa. Team still had a chance.
It's true.
I would rather Hossa play out his contract at the level that he was at or could have still been at, because he was done after the 16-17 season. So that's 17-18, 18-19. Because he had 3 more years or 4?
I think there were 4.
4.
Yeah.
So that's 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, and then the COVID year.
I enjoyed that.
I would still have I would have kept Hossa longer.
Steven, producer input?
I remember this, possibly the origins of this. Do you remember a little over 2 years ago, you did, would you give up your chance at Connor Bedard to guarantee the number 2 pick?
Yes, we did do that.
Mm-hmm.
And boy,
and that was pretty torn.
That was
remember what you said,
pre-Bedard lottery. Yeah.
I think I said I would.
You would. That's exactly what you said.
To guarantee we'd be picking 2.
To guarantee 2, we would sacrifice Bedard.
As far back as 5.
Looking back on that,
whoops,
wrong answer.
Yeah.
I mean, Fantilli's good, or Carlson. Carlson's good, but
he's
not Bedard.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, fun. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good.
It's a great success. I'm going to come with a lot more. I didn't know you were going to have like 100 of them. That's awesome.
Yeah, well.
We got to do the...
I did my homework.
Meg Ryan or Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicholson, 1974 or now? 74. Meg Ryan. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button on your way out. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock right here on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. Tell a friend, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, all that great stuff. We'll talk to you then. Thanks to Alex Vlasic for being here. Thanks to the Hawks for making it happen once again. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 2.
We all silly like the mayor.